Hey guys, what is going on? I wanted to upload a second video today because the end of the last video, it ended up roughly what happens is I take my phone to work, I watch YouTube on my lunch break, and the battery dies before I get a chance to say goodbye sometimes. Or it'll stop in the middle of the video, and sometimes that'll mean I have to re-record the video, which I was going to re-record the video today, but I just got busy. I didn't record a video, and I thought that would be good. And I kind of stopped on a kind of a decent note where I was said, make a topic a couple times, and then I said something, and I said make a topic again, or if you have any other topics you would like to discuss, I did that. But anyways, let's get down to the point. I want to, since this is a continuation, I'll just go ahead and talk more about being a metalhead. How about that? I talked about earlier, if you watch the other video, as this is going to be going up right before the next day. So it'll technically still be in this day, so we're not going to count this video. But the main thing I want to pull away from being a metalhead, and this is a question that I'm going to pose to you guys, is that what have you ever been asked about being a metalhead? Is there any questions that you guys have ever been asked where you were kind of stumped as to what the answer would be to respond to them? And I know some people would probably give, a stupid response about like, we just love good music or something like that, which that cannot be the response, And that's the biggest thing about, I hate about being, I'm not really an extreme metalhead. I like all types of music. I'm not really to that point to where I would consider myself a full-on metalhead, but I do love heavy metal. I do love like Sepulchre Carnage, like I talked about in the other one. I don't listen to him a lot, but I listen to Sepulchre Carnage, Nile, Cannibal Corpse a little bit. Like that harder stuff I kind of listen to in smaller doses. I didn't mind Morbid Angel. I think I did a review like at the very beginning when I started reviewing albums. I think before I got my phone, I think I may have did a Morbid Angel review. I think. Or right around the time when I first was doing thumbnails here on this channel. So, if I go back and check that out, I'm pretty sure I reviewed Morbid Angel. If not, it was like a music review, and I reviewed two bands. That's what I think. So, I'm going to be going back and doing a lot of stuff, bands that I did in the past, and reviewing some of their albums. Because a lot of times I would listen to half the album anyways. So that's another reason why I should just do album reviews. Kind of stop doing the music reviews. Because one, it's just a lot more informative, and plus people will be searching out albums to see what people thought about the album. So it'd be better for me. So with being a metalhead, like it's kind of hard to try and get in the mood to be in a metal thing. And I think that maybe a question that people would ask would be like, how do you listen to metal all the time? Because a lot of metalheads, they listen to metal all the time, and I think that's kind of a problem for me. Like, I can't listen to metal all the time. I have to listen to hard rock and rock quite a bit, because sometimes metal is I'm just not into it. Sometimes I don't want to listen to sprawling solos, and I don't want to listen to thrash that's going to be, making you want to bang your head off. Sometimes I just want a good rap song. I want some good rap, lyrics. Or fast talking songs, like Slipknot or something like that. And some people probably would consider Slipknot metal, but I don't know if I would. I think there's some of the songs that I would consider metal, and I guess you have to put them in the metal genre, but sometimes I begin to wonder sometimes when I listen to their stuff, especially how mainstream it is and everything, but I guess it has to be metal. I like Slipknot. Nothing against, I love Corey Taylor. Anything he touches, I think turns to gold. And I'm not one of those guys. I'm not the guy that's going to jump on a bandwagon just because everyone else thinks that they're good. I have my own opinions. So, I like Phil Anselmo. I like, Corey Taylor. Whatever they've done in their personal lives, that doesn't really matter to me. What matters to me is the music, and that's a lot having the same thing to do with wrestling. People may have bad life choices they've had in their career. That one string is just like all over the place down there. The one hair, it's like, but yeah, it's just, that's what happens in society today. A lot of judging goes on, and I don't really do that. Whatever your profession is, I'm looking at that. I'm not looking at what you did on Sunday when you were at the beach with your girlfriend and you made out and maybe touched her boob or something. I don't really care. Like, if I don't care what you're doing, like, I don't want no Polaroid camera picture of you like making out with some girl that you're dating that's not your wife. Like, I don't care. I don't care. and I'm not referring to any story there. I'm just saying, if they're doing that and trying to, you know, catch some bad stuff about somebody, the paparazzi, where they were like, I don't give a shit. Like, I just want to hear the music. I just want to see the movie. I just want to, you know, see the wrestler wrestle. That's all I want to do. I don't care about any of that other bullshit. Like, you know, whatever. Even if they did bad stuff that is like really, really bad, like, I understand that and I don't condone it, but I'm there for the art of what they have done then and what they've done in the past. Good example is Chris Benoit. I know what he did was horrible, and if you don't know who Chris Benoit is, look it up. He did some bad shit. You know, he killed his wife, killed his son, killed himself. Crazy, very crazy. But you know, he was a good wrestler. He did leave behind a great legacy of matches, and I know it's a bad thing to say, but I'm there for the art of wrestling. I'm not there for his personal, you know, life. I don't want to hear about, you know, evidently he had some demons that was going on, and evidently they overtook him, and he couldn't control them, and he, you know, he took his own life. That's his problem. I'm sorry, but the wrestling world, you know, that's what I'm paying attention to. And I know he'll never be inducted in the Hall of Fame, but that's what kind of goes with the metal community, is that there is a lot of bands out there that people are not going to understand, but there is also bands out there that fits the entire stereotype of the metal community, and I think a lot of those bands are more underground than what the mainstream thinks. You know, a lot of people like to paint metal as this bad music that, you know, is satanic and all this stuff, and I talked about that before in the other video. If you want to go back, check that out. But just briefly, to kind of sum it up, is that, yes, there are some bands like that, but 75% or probably higher, like 85% of metal is not even that. Like, they don't even do that. A lot of them go to church on Sunday, you know, they Christianity, you know, Baptist, probably Catholic, probably a lot of Catholic. I know how you guys are. I'm not Catholic. I'm Christian, technically. Not that I'm practicing or anything right now. Whatever. But probably 85% of metal, like, they probably all go to church, or they just don't believe in it. They're atheists, or they just like me. They say they're Christian and they stick to that. You know, a lot of them, I mean, if you ask them, they, you know, worship Satan. They guarantee you 75%, 10% would probably say yes, that aren't really. They just wanted that image to be there. 75%, I guarantee, will say no because they don't want that stigma on their thing, because they know it's going to drag their fan base down. Because they know if they say that, a lot of fans won't listen to their music. One, because half of them, I mean, I would say in metal, I bet 30% like attributes to teenagers, and then the rest is probably adults that have either grown up with metal or whatever. And I'm sure there's some people, a percentage of people, and I'm just spewing out random guesses, you know, guesstimates of these percentages, but I'm assuming they're probably pretty close, in that, you know, the rest is probably, you know, people that have grown up with metal. And I'm sure there's a percentage of people that get out of metal because they get older and they just don't want to listen to it anymore. But I'm sure nowadays, I think that's probably a bit changing, because I think a lot of people in my generation, like, we listened to metal for I don't know how long, and we've listened to hard rock, you know, and it was actually popular during our time a little bit. You know, Slipknot got really popular, Stain, Korn, Limp Bizkit, and they were kind of metal at one point. They were kind of a little heavy at one point. And, you know, we kind of got into metal at that point. So I think it kind of was it's kind of like hair metal, and, you know, the generation behind us, or a couple generations behind us, kind of had hair metal. They had, you know, things like that. And you even see some of the people from like the 70s that, you know, were, you know, they listened to, you know, REO Speedwagon, and, well, they're not really metal, but like Black Sabbath, and like, you know, Skinner, which I don't consider Skinner metal, but if you kind of look at them, they kind of got some kind of same things that you would attribute with metal, you know, drugs and deaths and craziness in the band, deaths in the band, and a huge fan base that kind of just blows everything up. So I would kind of attribute Skinner to kind of, if you were to think about the type of people that, you know, the same people listen to Skinner probably most likely listen to like Van Halen and, you know, hair metal and things like that for the most part, and enjoy somewhat some of that. Metallica kind of in between there too. That you like Metallica, you probably like Skinner. It's just because of the kind of thing that kind of goes in between. I would kind of hard. I would be hard to see how many metalheads don't like Skinner. Because, I mean, really good musicianship, really good songs. It's kind of hard to hate Leonard Skinner. But anyways, that's a whole other video for a whole other day. Why would you hate Leonard Skinner? Anyways, if you're a metalhead, tell me if you do like him. Let me know down below. Just a lot of, I think, stereotypes that are extremely wrong. Let me know a stereotype down below if you think is wrong. But I think, like, some questions that somebody may ask is, how do you listen to it? And that's kind of hard to answer, or how are you able to understand the lyrics? And I talked about a little briefly in the other video about, about sometimes you want to listen to the lyrics, sometimes you don't. Some bands are known for meaningful lyrics. Some people are not. A lot of people do concept albums. And here's the thing about me, when I listen to concept albums, I may not know it's a concept album until somebody tells me it is. Because I'm not a person that really pays attention to the lyrics. I'm there for the music, and I'm there for if the lyrics, if I can hear some words that make sense and goes with the rhythm of the music, but I'm not listening to every word that people say. Now sometimes, like the ones I really get into, like I got like 2 or 3 albums deep into an artist. I may start to kind of look at the lyrics a little bit and see like how good are their, I couldn't get the right words out of my damn mouth. How good are their lyrics? And I may look a little deeper. Good example of Marilyn Manson, which not really metal, but kind of, sort of, in that, I don't know, kind of. Some of these bands are kind of on the line. But I mean, I listen to metal. Trust me, I listen to metal. Another good band that is probably kind of in the metal world is Stuck Mojo. Really good, presentation, I think. Some people may not be into them. And that's the other thing. Some people may ask, if they hear or they know that there's different subgenres of metal, ask you, well, what subgenre, what type of metal do you like? And what types of metal do you not like? And that could be a hard question to answer if you're not like a big metalhead that, narrows it down to a certain type of genre. Because I've seen a lot of people on YouTube that I watch that don't really like black metal, but they'll like the other stuff. Or they'll like the progressive metal, and they'll like the kind of traditional metal, the mainstream metal kind of things. They like those. And they like some of the death metal, but they don't like Cannibal Corpse, and they don't like black metal, so they're kind of like that. Or there's the totally other person that is really the people I don't like really too much is the people that are so close-minded. They don't like progressive metal, they don't like mainstream metal, they don't like classic metal, they just like death metal and grindcore and just straight up brutal metal. And then there's some people that just like black metal and death metal, which is so many people out there with different tastes in metal, and it's kind of hard to pick, which one you like. And usually you're going to like a couple of genres. I prefer, myself, I like doom metal or stoner rock is what I kind of prefer when I listen to metal, and I kind of like grindcore. And death metal is okay at times, but I'm not a huge fan of death metal. Grindcore, I think, is kind of more my thing. Thrash metal is actually, I didn't even know that was a term, but I figured out that's kind of what I like too. I like thrash metal. I like, doom metal. I like stuff like that. I remember going to a show, which is really weird when I say the band. I wouldn't really consider them metal, though. I went to a Clutch show, and I really wouldn't consider them metal. I really consider them hard rock, to be honest, but I guess they're metal. I mean, I guess they would be like a progressive metal kind of band. But I've seen High on Fire with them and Fu Manchu, which I don't even know if Fu Manchu I think they're still going, but I don't know. As far as I know, I thought the last time I looked up at them, they had a lot of lineup. They had a few lineup changes, I'm thinking, but I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that. But I thought they were still going. If they weren't still going, then they just stopped sort of recently or in the past 5 years. So I don't know. But that's what concert I went and seen up at the Vogue in Indianapolis. And it was an interesting show. I think I went did I go by myself? I might have went by myself. but I thought I went with a friend, but I might have went by myself. Because I really wanted to go see... No, I went with my friend. Yeah, I went with my friend Danny. Anyways, I don't have anything else really to talk about. I just want to kind of shoot another video and to put something out before the end of the day and kind of explain myself why I ended the video kind of short. So there we go. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Questions about being a metalhead. If you have any other questions I should kind of talk about, topics I should discuss like this, let me know down below. This is kind of things I kind of want to start doing on this channel. Besides the movie and music things, kind of do questions surrounding them. Not do like top 10 because everybody does that. Do like questions like, like why do you like comedy movies? Why do you like horror movies? Things like that. Yeah, kind of be kind of cool. And kind of to talk about certain movies that's in it, this randomly talking. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good jazz. All that stuff down below. This ain't your first YouTube video. I don't need to tell you guys. I don't feel like I need to do that every time I do a video. You guys know what you're doing. Just saying. Just saying. All the other YouTubers do it, so I'll let them do my job. I'll let them do my job for me. Did that make any sense? Anyways, like, comment, subscribe, all the good jazz. Keep rocking and keep on listening to metal. Rawr.